I thought we would be done with this topic at some point, but apparently not yet, because apparently it's still a thing on the internet and it continues stressing people out, which I don't think is fair. So today we are going to talk about manifesting from a negative state of mind, or manifesting from a negative feeling state, rather. Can you or can you not manifest while feeling anxious, sad, maybe you're full of doubts? I really thought this would have been debunked by now, but for some reason it's not. And I have had so many people come to me with the fear that just because they had a negative emotion or felt bad or had a bad day or bad couple of days, they ruined it and are now stressed that they somehow ruined their manifestation. So we're going to go into the depths of that and hopefully give you clarity on the topic and clarity on what to do if you're in that state. First things first, welcome to my channel where I keep manifesting and everything regarding manifesting simple and practical so that you can apply it to your own manifestations right away. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any videos. And let's talk about this topic of having negative emotions. First of all, what I said prior, feeling people being anxious and fearful that they somehow ruined their manifestation or something bad is going to happen just because they had negative emotions, that's not how it works at all. You need to understand and accept the fact that you're a human being with human emotions and you are going to have negative emotions here and there. Maybe you are in a period where lots of negative stuff is coming up. That's normal. That doesn't mean that you are absolutely going to manifest horrible things in your life. And I think this is the worst fear of people when they learn, quote unquote, learn that you have to be happy all the time to manifest good things. Otherwise, as soon as you start feeling sad or angry or whatever negative emotion, you're going to start manifesting horrible things in your life that creates this unnecessary anxiety. That's not how it works. So you are going to have negative emotions, and that's okay. There's a reason for that, and there are ways to work with that. First of all, your emotions, both negative and positive, are a manifestation of your mind, of your thoughts, of the stories you keep telling yourself. So knowing that, it already makes it logical, right? That logical, I don't know how logical that is, but at least clearer that if a negative emotion is a manifestation of the story I have been telling myself, and if the emotion is negative or feeling bad somehow, then the story you've been telling yourself is a story that you don't want to experience. So it's all the fears, all the past negative experiences, all the things that haven't even happened yet that you're probably already stressing about. So with that in mind, it means that even from a negative state, feeling state, if you start changing that story and persist in a different story, which is going to feel good when that happens, it's actually is going to start feeling good before it happens in the physical, in the 3D. That is going to change your feeling state, first of all. So your emotions are talking to you. All they're doing is telling you that you are holding onto a story that you don't want. Now, can you manifest your desired end goal from that state anyway? Yes, you can. Now, there are different ways to go about it. By the way, in the next video, I am planning on giving you a specific technique to neutralize or actually get rid of the resistance quite easily. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned, because next video is going to be very technical. But in this video, I want to focus on the fact that no matter how you feel, it's in your hands. Your mind, your focus is in your control. You can, in that state, change the story to your liking. Now, especially if the case is that you are making assumptions about something that you don't even know if it has happened or not, but your fear is telling you that something horrible has probably happened. A classical one that I have heard a lot from clients is, for example, people who were manifesting specific people, romantic relationships, and they are in no contact. They start making up stories why they are in no contact. Maybe the other person has found someone else, they don't want me, they don't like me, etc., etc. And of course, that is going to create a negative feeling state. You can do the same, shouldn't, but that same process happens with lots of different situations. Money. Making assumptions that you can't make money, no money is going to come in, because maybe you are you're about to pay a bill or whatever the situation. Your fear is actually about the future that hasn't happened yet, that probably you're not going to be able to pay for whatever you need to pay. So it's a state of lack. Whatever assumption you keep persisting in eventually is going to manifest, but you have the chance, even while feeling anxious, to change the story. Start slow. If you can, go bold and completely deny the reality and state as a fact your desired end goal as if it has already happened. If not, go slow. Start asking questions, positive questions, that what if I figured out something? There's always a solution to every problem. There's always a solution to every situation. What if I found out something? What if I figured out something? That is going to direct your attention on something else and help you calm down. And it's going to be easier for you to focus. But again, that's not even necessary. So not everyone is going to be able to be bold and affirm from a negative state, but for some people it helps. Or for you, sometimes it will be helpful to completely shift focus, deny the current 3D, and the way you deny it is you shift focus to something else, your end goal. Can you do it from a negative state? Yes, you can. It's possible. Can you manifest good things while being in a negative feeling state? Absolutely yes, because as I said before, your negative feeling state is already a manifestation of your mind, of the stories you keep telling yourself. So if you start telling yourself a different story, and again, in the future I'm going to talk a lot about how to do this in different situations, also for different people, because every single one of us operates differently. Going completely bold and denying the 3D and going to the end may not work for everyone, but there are different ways of doing it. The point of this video is to tell you that yes, you can absolutely manifest your desired end goal from a negative feeling state. And just because you feel bad, just because you've had a bad day, it absolutely doesn't mean that something horrible is going to happen. Manifestation is a constant flow. First things first, let me finish the topic I was talking about, and then I will talk about how manifestation is constantly flowing and why that is important. So if you start changing the story in your mind and start creating a story that actually is favorable, that you want to experience, what your mind does constantly is it finds proof of your own beliefs and assumptions to be true. Whether that's true or not, if you create an assumption, that's going to be true for you. This is why we manifest. Like this, I was about to say manifestation works, but it sounds like it's something you do sometimes and it works. It's something that happens all the time. That's how life works. You have an assumption and then that you start having experiences of that assumption. The same way your emotions are also your mind proving your assumption to you. So you have an assumption that something is not the way you like, so your mind has to calibrate your body with that belief, with that assumption, so that your body feels the way that your story is. And the same way your mind finds different ways in the 3D to prove your assumptions to you. Now, again, so just so that you don't get scared that, oh my God, then it means that if I had an anxious moment, then my mind is going to start manifesting things that I'll be more anxious about. That's not how it works. You remember how I said that manifestation is constantly flowing. If you are in this negative state and you change your focus to something better, something that you actually want to experience, your manifestation is going to go in that direction. Actually, it's not that you start focusing on positive things, you affirm good things, you imagine good things, but then something bad has to happen because you were anxious 2 days ago. Your manifestation actually just flows in that direction until that becomes an assumption if you persist in it. And this is probably the main reason why conscious manifestations sometimes take longer than people want to, because we go from lack to having it, from negative story to positive, from negative to affirming. And that is why your manifestation, instead of if you just focused on one thing and stayed there, it would go directly from where you are to that point, that place in time and space where you actually have it, you experience it. But since we shift focus from current situation to desired situation, to current problems to desired situation, your manifestation goes this way. So you experience it take longer time, right? Eventually you will arrive if you persist in your assumption. But all this to say that you're going to get there anyway. Don't get scared that just because you had a bad moment or a bad couple of days that you ruined it, that something bad is awaiting you in the future. I think this is the worst fear of people who believe that they have to be positive all the time to manifest good things. That's not how it works. Take your state from where you are and just direct it the way it works for you. Of course, I'm not telling you to keep staying in the negative state, feeding into it, focus on the unwanted. Absolutely not. That's not a good idea. It's going to make you feel worse and worse, and no one wants that. But to manifest good things from that state, yes, you can, and you should, because it's in your hands. It's your imagination. You can do with it whatever you want, and it's going to create a wrong word. And at some point, I'm going to make a video about why it's not create, it's manifest. It's going to manifest what story you keep telling it. If you keep telling a great, wonderful, beautiful story from a bad state of mind, at some point that story is going to create, again, manifest, better feeling state and a better feeling physical reality. So don't get scared. Do your thing. You're probably already doing the right thing. And before I end the video, I think it's very important to mention that it shouldn't be your goal to feel positive all the time. That is not even healthy. It, even for your manifestations, that's not a healthy place to manifest from. There's reasons why there are reasons why you have these negative emotions. So no reason to ignore them. There are ways to work with them, to get rid of them, actually, to change the story. And I am going to talk about this a lot on this channel. So make sure to subscribe and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you don't miss the next video, where I am going to give you a very specific, very simple technique that will help you get rid of the resistance, at least that feeling of hitting the wall, that feeling of resistance, however you might experience it. So again, I am really hopeful that this was helpful, that this calmed you down, that this made you feel a bit more confident, that yes, just because you feel anxious doesn't mean you can't have your manifestation, and it absolutely doesn't mean that you absolutely have to manifest something horrible just because you had a bad moment. That's not how it works. Don't worry. And again, subscribe and see you in the next video.